Finally. This guy, Clydesdale.
All stop. All stop.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner! Ginge just donated $10. He said Merry Christmas. Howdy, howdy. How's it going, everybody? I do apologize for the wait. We had some technical issues with the OBS because this is on the desktop. This is our first time streaming on YouTube with the desktop. The last time I streamed on YouTube was back when I did some of the racing gigs and everything, and and I had all of that set up, but now I think we're good to go. 20 minutes later, but we're fine now. Let me get stuff popping off again. All right, here we go. All right. Appreciate anyone and everyone that stops by. I'm glad to see you. I'm trying to get my stuff pulled up here. Oh, there's the missus. I appreciate you guys. All right. We're here in episode 2 of the Xplay Today show reboot. And we're gonna have fun with this one just as much as the last one. We're kind of on a different platform because the last one that we had, apparently, I guess we're just not allowed to talk about politics on Twitch or anything. So we're over here on YouTube to try it again. So I would like to welcome a special guest. You guys love him. We all love him. He does some awesome work with the community. He bears a great heart for anyone and everyone in need, especially for mental health awareness and keeping on top of that with all of his friends. Would be Mr. KaptainGranite is here with us today. There he is right there, KaptainGranite. How's it going, Granite? How you doing today?
Good. Doing good. How are you? How's the family?
Doing all right. Doing great. I do know my sister's like moved back with my family, but the kids are doing great and they're looking for a home right now. I guess it's something for the mom and dad, for my mom and dad to have some company for a little while since they've been empty nesters for quite a few years anyway. So how about yourself?
Doing good. Doing good. I mean, I have my kiddo's 3 now. She's getting bigger and smarter and sassier every day.
So you made it
Um,
through the terrible twos, huh?
yeah, terrible threes now.
Terrible threes now. Yeah.
But yeah, she's fantastic.
Yeah. There was a executive order that Trump released for the IVF to make it to work with people to make it cheaper. And now that that's been released, the wife's been like wanting to look more into that. Cause we don't have kids yet.
Yeah.
Which I'm 30, she's 29. Um, I do want to have kids. It's just it's just you're still trying to cling on being young, you know. You're
Yeah.
trying to continue having that fun, I guess. But a lot of, I mean, you see a lot of young people, you know, having kids, and to me, I'm like, you know what? I want to be responsible about this. I want to get my house paid off, car paid off, all this other stuff paid off, land ready to go to put a family on, and I don't know, that's just how I was raised by my mom and dad.
It's a lot.
um, yeah, so I know I can never be fully prepared, but by darn, I'm gonna get as much prepared as I possibly can. um,
Yeah. That's exactly how I was. Just get a couple things paid off, get to a position where it's like, okay, now we can bring in, you know,
yeah.
bring in a little one. But it actually took my wife and I 7 years of trying.
Mm.
So it was one of those. It was to the point where it's like maybe it's just not gonna happen, but then it did. So
Did it? And it just up and happened, or did y'all take
uh,
treatments?
no, it just up and happened. Like it was. I mean, we never had any tests that came back like, oh, positive, or she was never late or anything like that. It was just nothing, 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 nothing. And then all of a sudden, like, you look a little glowy here.
Glowy, yeah,
And I mean, and
makes
then,
sense.
took a test, and sure enough, 9 months later. So it's quite the process. And then when it comes to a head, it's just incredible.
Yeah, me and the wife have been married for 10 years, and we for the first 5 years we were actively trying, and then after that I think we reached that point where we started to kind of delve into the I don't know if this is going to happen type thing.
Right.
And so I think for the this recent 5 years we've just kind of been just focusing on ourselves and just living for today at the moment.
Yeah.
And she has PCOS, so we're gonna have to like do stuff to help regulate her levels in order to be prepared to for her to be pregnant and all that kind of stuff. So it's already gonna be a lot of money. I know that much, but it's at the end of the day, though, we know what the end goal is going to be, and I'll be super excited for that.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Some people, it's funny because some guys aren't too excited to be fathers, and then some of them change their mind as soon as they become one. You know, because it's a magical moment. It's a very blessed moment. But I would love to have kids, and I always try to let her know that I still want kids. You know, I'm very open to have kids, and I even like taking care of some of the nieces and nephews. You know, I took care of both of my nephews for my sister, and then now my sister-in-law, her sister, has a bunch of kids she's adopted, and we see them sometimes, and it just I actually end up enjoying being around kids. It's just kind of one of those things that I'm still waiting patiently, but I know it'll happen sooner or later. And I told her if we don't do the IVF, we can't do the IVF. We'll adopt. We'll go. We'll try to get things in order to adopt.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the way to go. Like if all else fails, help someone that needs it.
Oh yeah. So you ride bikes. Do you still ride bikes?
I don't.
Oh
I
man.
ended up selling my motorcycle a little over a year ago.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So you don't have your motorcycle no more. No more motorcycles.
no, no more motorcycle.
You didn't reach that age where you're like, no, I can't have the motorcycle no.
No, I mean, and the thing is, it was all paid off.
Yeah.
Um, but especially with with the kiddo, it got to a point where it's like I wasn't. It was just sitting in the shed and collecting dust, and I'm just sitting there like, I take it out every once and again, but the upkeep for it, I was like, I could sell it. And during that year is a little bit of a tough year for us. And I'm like, here it is November. I'm about to go on vacation with, you know, we don't necessarily have the money for this vacation. And
Mm-hmm.
then also with Christmas coming up and her birthday, I was like, I can probably sell the motorcycle now and be able to treat the family to a nice holiday. And luckily enough, someone from New York saw my post on Facebook and they're like, done. We'll get the money up to you and we'll come pick it up. I was like, great. So, and we ended up getting rid of the bike like 2 days before vacation. So it worked out.
Do you think it like how old how many kids do you have?
Just the one.
Just the one? Okay. When they get old enough, you thinking about going back and getting you another motorcycle? You ever thought about going back on some things like that? Be like, man, it would feel good to get back into that again.
It all depends. I mean, I could easily ask my brother-in-law to use his bike. My dad has a bike. Um, I could ride around on those, but it and it's not. And I told my wife this too because I told her actually like last week. I said, if I never own another motorcycle again, I'd be perfectly fine. It's it's getting kind of scary out there riding now
Yeah.
because of how many distractions there are for other drivers. I mean, I'm perfectly comfortable with my own riding abilities, and it's just if I'm gonna come to an intersection, someone doesn't see the red light or the stop sign, or yeah, it's just so many variables to it, and it's just you know I could
Around
make do
here,
with
it's a
not
lot of
riding.
deer. We get a lot of deer around here.
There's a lot here too.
We've had some deaths in regards to deer crossings, like and motorcycles. Um, we had a preacher at one time, like he was on his motorcycle, and he was heading home from night church because we had Sunday morning, then you have Sunday night. Used to some of them are starting to do just once on Sundays now, but he was on his way home, and sure enough, it was a deer come out, and he had like plowed into it, and it had like thrown him off the bike, and it like it hurt him pretty bad, and he
Yeah.
ended up dying that night, and it was horrible. But those are the type of things that I've wanted. I think about those things sometimes, but I told my wife, I said, you know what? If there was like one of the things on my bucket list, it would be I would like a motorcycle. I've never driven, not like the way you've driven. I've driven dirt bikes growing up as a kid. I've been in the
Mhm.
yard, I've been down streets and stuff, but a motorcycle to me is like a muscle car. That's your road trip, baby. That's like you want to go, long rides with that. Be
So
comfortable,
it's all about
cruise.
the adventure.
Yeah. So it to me it's around here, I live in Bama, and around here is a lot of back roads. So sometimes we just end up turning down like a back road, dirt road, and you just kind of cruise. Now, might not be the greatest surface for a Harley per se, and that's why that we get a lot of four wheelers and dirt bikes around here, gators, and all that sort. But I don't know. I thought about it. If you had to suggest one, what would you suggest?
As like a good starter bike.
Yeah.
I mean, you can find a used Sportster, a Harley Sportster for pretty cheap. I mean, I found that's what I had. I had an 883 Sportster. I think it was like 3 or 4 grand. I think it was,
Okay.
and it was used. I was like the third owner, I think it was, and it's just one of those bikes that's like, if I drop it, I drop it.
Yeah.
It People that buy these sport bikes for their first bike, they end up dropping them. They break the plastic on them, and then it's $600-700 to replace the plastic. Uh, just for me, it's just a no brainer to just do a Sportster or a Honda Shadow, something like that. Just to, if it's gonna fall over, it might dent it, but it's not gonna break anything.
I do like Honda. Honda is a good brand for me.
Yep,
They got,
those will run forever.
they always got like great gas mileage, and regardless what
Yep.
they build. Um. So, talking about ourselves a little bit, but I want to kind of lean more into talking about some good folks, some folks that we used to know. Um, just kind of want to skim over the. We've got to mention it anyway. Being that I'm talking to you today, I obviously wanted to mention it, and that's our love and passion for OG and his legacy and all that good stuff, um and it's funny, and I guess I'll say on my end, when I met OG, I met him through Ginger, because what after me and Ginger met on Day Z, OG was actually one of the first people that I ever got introduced to within like the PUBG community when I started playing more with Ginger and everything. Um, and I only played with him twice. I played with him twice, but I will say, and I've said this every time that I've ever brought this up, both times I played with him, that dude had such an impact, even on first impression and everything. When he talks to you, he talked, when someone's actually trying to help or take care of you, and you feel like that love for somebody. He had that because he's you get on the game and you start playing and you have friends and I'm not, this is not to diss anybody out there, but I will say we have tired days. We get on and we're like, oh man, I'm just not going to talk to nobody. We're just going to chill, play the game. Like, we're not even going to talk about work, not going to talk about how your day. This dude will talk about, how's your life, brother? How's everything go? Like, I and he did stream often. I think I played with him once on stream and once off stream, but either way, he was the same, and I like that about him too, because you have some people that kind of flip of a switch change when that go live button is hit. Um, but he stayed the same. He stayed the same awesome dude the whole time, and I kind of you promote a lot. You promote a lot. You and Corrupt, and Joe, and there's many others. Lajorno. I mean, so many. I probably can't even name them all off. I know.
There's a lot.
Yeah, Lady Sublime. Many people he's affected, and many people that put on, or want to be a part of many of the events that you put on, and And I love that. I love that. I'm wearing his hat right now. I had to wear the hat today. I had to. I had to wear the hat today. Plus it matched the shirt. So,
There you go.
um,
I got his hat right here next to me.
yeah, and I know Shay was giving out like some of his hats and stuff, and I
That's the one I
seen
got.
I seen Lady. Oh, you got that one? Okay,
That was his. But, I mean, he still has the brim that's slightly bent up there.
yeah,
I tend to make sure that stays. I give it a couple little bends here and there, and then um, yeah, I actually said to myself when I got it, I said, I'm never gonna wear it, never
yeah.
gonna wear it. And then I was sitting here one night, and I had a really bad night of games, and I was just sitting here, and I just thinking to myself, I was like, I wish he was here, like just to play games with or just chat with me. And I said, you know, he would be pissed off if I didn't use his hat. And I said, by me having his hat on every time I'm playing PUBG, it's like he's sitting there watching it with me.
Yeah,
And I always think about that every time I put that hat on right before a stream, and I'm like, all right, we got our cap on, let's go. So it's just I was really fortunate that Bosley was able to get that hat to me, because that was the number one hat. I was like, if that's the hat, I want that one.
okay, yeah. And speaking of Boss, how I how is she doing? Have you talked to her as of late?
Uh, I don't talk to her as much. Um, she kind of took a bit of a step away from the community, just because it just keeps the memory too fresh,
Yeah,
and she's trying to not necessarily move on, but she's trying to live her life. And
yeah, of course.
and I think that's a necessary change for her that she needs to do, and build herself back. And she's doing an amazing job. I see her every morning getting ready on Facebook, doing her makeup, promoting the products that she sells, and you know she's still grinding. She's still living that life. So, but she's doing really well.
Yeah, I know we do miss her here, but I do understand as well because that that's every single year, every month, the birthdays. It's just like the community does memorials and we do things for how much we loved him. But that's always to me it's going to be a different kind of love than what a spouse does for
Absolutely.
and that's a constant stab every year, and it's I totally understand um when someone needs to step away from being reminded of those type of things. um I'm glad she's doing great. I know I'm kind of like I'm not close to I'm not like the guy. I'm not like the guy like how you are and corrupt and some of the other guys. You have like you guys were close friends. I was an acquaintance mainly. But again, there was such an impact. I know I cried to my wife on that day, and it really was a dark day, but at the end of it though, we still live in that legacy. I still love the um his challenge, his motto. If I challenge you to be anything, I challenge you to be kind. And that will ring on forever with the PUBG community, and not just the PUBG community, just us as human beings. We all know this. But yeah, we had to mention him for this one. We ain't gonna forget about him for sure.
No,
Moving.
every year I at least ask Boss Lady for her blessing and doing those memorials and everything, and try to try to bring the community together. I mean, it doesn't even have to be people that have played with him or necessarily knew him at this point. It's just honoring that message and helping out one another. Like
Yeah.
it's incredible that in the few that I've done, I mean, we've raised over $10,000 towards all these charities in his name. So it's this community still has that love. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
really nice to see.
Oh yeah, man. And I'll tell everybody who's watching, everybody who's out there watching, you know, this man right next to me has I mean, he's gone through a lot with all of that as well. And he does not even have to do any of this. He doesn't have to be, of course, he's going to, because he's a loving brother and he's going to do this for all of us. But for people like me who are acquaintances, people are outside, he could have kept this private. He could have kept this just between like a community or just a personal community thing. But no, it's open to everyone. And I just want everyone to know out there that this man here makes many different ways for you to get involved for these memorial events. So just be present like in discords and such when it gets announced, and by all means you're going to be in some shape or form going to be able to participate and be a part of anything that is done. Community games, charity events. You're a donator, a viewer, a player, just whatever the case may be. And that's just kind of like my message to the community, because I want folks to not feel like they're being left out in any shape or form, and for them to have a broader mindset of what the meaning of being a part of something is, not just showcasing or being a feature of something. You can be a part in any shape or form, because at the end of the day, what are we doing this for? We're doing it for charity, and we're doing it in the memory of a great man. And that's going to be my message to you guys who are watching this today. So favorite game is PUBG, of course. He loved playing PUBG. We're gonna get into some PUBG topics here. There's I don't know how much you I don't know how to. So there's a topic floating around that I know that select people are kind of, it's like they're trying to pull that narrative, and it's kind of, we all know that's not really happening, is what we call it a conspiracy or whatever. But I will start with this.
Okay.
So obviously in Call of Duty Black Ops 6, skill based damage and skill based matchmaking and yada 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 is real. It's in that game. It's been proven that it's in that game. And Black Ops 6,
Right.
it's got to do with AI functions. Even the Ricochet anti-cheat for Warzone and Call of Duty is not as anti-cheat as most people think it is. It's practically just an AI that messes around with the cheaters. And I do the air quotations because it's gotten kind of out of hand. It's not functioning the way it should be. So it's not really an anti-cheat as in you file the reports and it goes through reports like what we would consider an anti-cheat system. It's not that, even though they're trying to portray it as that. It's just an AI system. And now it's affecting as far as damage numbers, like in live detail, like as you're playing the match. It's pretty insane how far technology's gotten and the software's gotten to affect things like on the spot in a live match that you're playing. Do I believe that skill-based damage? Well, we already know skill-based matchmaking is, I mean, or MMR and all that is in PUBG, so everyone can stay on the same level. Kind of need that on 100 players because that's a lot of players to not. You got to have some. I don't really think SBMM is going to be that impactful on that many players, but skill based damage though, and again, I'm a Twitter junkie. I'm always on Twitter. I am scrolling and I see this, and it's from uh not from one person. It's from like one here, one there. You know, you'll have like some of that brings it up, and and I'm gonna let you have what you think in regards to the, you know, we all know SMG limb multiplier is absurd. We keep even Wacky Jackie, C Dome, Hollywood, everybody, even the bigger guys are like, get rid of it. We are tired of it. We want, you know, some good gameplay. Like we know what SMGs are how they're supposed to operate, but you're catering to a certain initiative. That I can agree with, but Crafton and what they were marketing, and I think last I saw they had above 750k concurrent players, and that's on Steam charts. That's on PC only. I could just imagine Xbox. I don't believe in any shape or form why they would even need a skill based damage ruse or or a way to trick people into, or newer players to have more damage, because at the end of the day the game is 8 years old, or going on 8 years old this year. There's plenty of issues with the game in regards to ping, desync. They have so many little knickknacks with the or penetration with the car, foot, shin, thigh, torso, pinky finger, middle finger. Like, I mean, you got all the different ones. So when you look at damage numbers, I done gave up on that. I gave up on looking at damage numbers, except for obviously the more obvious damage numbers that are given in the game, because it's so intricate now. That kind of solidifies again why I'm against the thought of there's no skill based damage in the game. If new players are beaming you, then they're just better, I guess. I mean, sometimes it's luck. I know when I was a new player, I got lucky a lot. I wasn't as confident back then either. I started playing with you guys and Mike and or AG Maniac Mike and Ginger and all them. And I started gaining more confidence, more aggression, and I started seeing more kills.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I wanted to pick your brain a little bit and see what you thought. What are your thoughts on, like, do you think skill based damage is in PUBG?
Well, for the skill-based damage, I mean, yeah, we all know about the SMG, the limb multiplier there, and you know, I mean, I get accused of using SMGs when I'm not using SMGs. I mean, I have a couple of drops in my channel, just of people's reactions from a PUBG report of me using an SMG. And I hate the stigma that SMGs have, because yeah, I mean, they do have that extra feature of, if I'm going up against, a vector versus a barrel, the vector's going to win, especially within 50-meter range.
Yeah.
Like 9 times out of 10. And that's even with new players going up against like me that's been playing it for almost 8 years. And it's to the point where they could easily take that limb multiplier off completely, lower the damage down a little bit, make it so SMGs are still useful in certain close quarter situations, but it's not going to be your first choice. So when you're starting out a game, you're playing a big map, say like Destin, where there's wide open areas. You kind of want that gun that's going to reach the 100, to 200 meter range effectively. Now with an ump right now, you have someone out there 150 meters, you can still beam them easily. Like it's almost insane, like how much the damage is with the SMGs. And in terms of the matchmaking, you know, I was playing ranked last week, towards the end of the season, and I was starting to notice something a little bit, that when I was doing after I hit my placement, I was getting in games with people that were like ranked as I am. So like when I think I was like gold 2, I was noticing golds in my game, some platinums, some silvers, but mainly golds in the game. And when I was doing my placement games, I had 2 games with like Gaga, who's number 1 on the ranked list. And it's just like, no, I don't want to go up against him. I mean, he's master. I'm trying to figure out where I sit.
Okay.
So I feel like the ranked has a little bit of a better grasp on the matchmaking. So you're at that rank. But when it comes to normal games, it's just like a who's who of whatever you get thrown in.
Yeah.
And I think it was Survivor number 1. I think you probably know him.
Oh yeah, of course.
On Twitter, he posted yesterday a map of the U.S. servers for PUBG.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't even know there was an Atlanta server literally next door to me.
I was surprised that there's only like one in Washington. That's it. Like that's it for almost the West Coast, and then you got one down in, I think it was Texas.
Yeah.
But that's it for the West Coast. Then you have, like you said, Atlanta. There's one in Maryland, and then I think there was one in like West Virginia or something. There's a few on the East Coast. But it seems like with all those servers, and mind you, so if I'm playing with my friends and I'm hosting, I mean, I'm going to be connected to the Maryland server as the priority. It might shift me over to the West Virginia one. I don't know. But I'm only going to be able to get in games with people that are on that Maryland server. So I just feel like it's so spread out in a sense that there's no ranked base matchmaking right now. Like, and if there
Gotcha.
is, it's failing.
Especially for the NA, it's, and I'm still from the last episode where Ginger had explained, as a PUBG partner, he explained that 91% or a good 90% to like 97% or a good 90% of revenue is all Asian. And I'm like, and I guess, and I live in this bubble. We all live in this bubble of, well, America's like the most financially funded and manufactured nation of the whole world. And, it's just, we all live in where we live at. We believe that we have the one of the best economies, and the amount of people that just blow money on stuff, and which we'll talk about that later, but just, and it the demographics still show that we were just like a 10% in PUBG. Yep. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And it just makes me think how much they're making so much more money. Used to, I didn't think this, but now I believe they're making a lot of money compared to our 10%, but they're making 90% of the revenues from all of Asia. That's a lot. It's huge. And
That's
Um,
why whenever we, stomp our feet about something that's broken in the game or changes that we think that it needs, they will go, we'll make a note, but until our Asia market says something, it it's just
yeah,
we're not gonna pay attention.
yeah. It's just I think we have one one NA representative,
Yeah, I
and
think so.
and that I kudos to that person, because to me that's a lot of weight on my shoulders for the entire NA to rely on you to relay and get this feedback back to Crafton so that they can, and hope, well, like you said, make a note of it, that one day they will get to that issue. And you're still like that mediator. You're having to go back and forth, and I
Yeah, I mean,
feel for that, bless whoever that is, because they got a lot on their shoulders.
I can't remember the person's name, but yeah, I sent them a message on Discord right before this last charity event, and it
Mm-hmm.
was like a month before, and I said, hey, I'd love to get like 10,000 G coin that I could spread out to other people to do giveaways during the event, and they got back to me, and mind you, I didn't push them for it. I didn't do a follow up.
Yeah.
I waited. 2 months after the event, they reached out to me and said, "Do you still need this G coin?" I went, "No, no." Like, but the thing is, like, I'm not a PUBG partner, um, and they just see me as Joe Schmo
Yeah.
looking to get G coin. But I mean, realistically, I could have reached out to like Ginge or Salty or there's a few partners I know, a couple of them, and then that would
Yeah,
have
and
worked.
to be fair on that, though, I think they're also kind of on, maybe not as bad as we would be, but I think they're also on like a back burner right now as well.
Yeah,
That's fair to say. And as from what I've estimated, they're back burner right now.
yeah,
So yeah, there, and I'm glad we're talking about this, because this helps me alliterate there are bigger fish to fry on PUBG than conspiracies about skill based damage, because it's not. I mean, it's just it's not the top of the priority list, and I get a chuckle every time I see it on my Twitter feeds. Um,
mhm,
where you have so many of these other elements, and then and what's it's people that we even know, that, and that's what makes me, I guess, make me chuckle, because it's like you get in you're in your mind, you're like, hey, you should know better. PUBG is in such a deeper state than for you to think that.
yeah.
um that's crazy that you think that, that individual or the whoever is thinking that. So um there was, let's see, I'm gonna pull it up here, and it was and that's just kind of funny. um Shout out to Hold My Beer, because I love that man. That dude, he Hold My Beer is he's excitement on roids, man. Like, this dude is he's a lot to handle. But I love it though, because he can, and he's pretty comedic. He can spit them out, like,
Oh, absolutely.
and I kind of miss him being around. I know he's got a dream. He kind of took the back seat to work his dream career,
Yep.
and kudos, because everyone's all looking for that right now, especially after
Yeah,
COVID.
I see him on Facebook all the time. I mean, and he's all over the place. Like he was up
Yeah.
here in up in Boston. He's down in Florida. He's out in California. Like what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like just he's all over and he's just living his life and just man, guy wears his heart on his sleeve every single day. He's just so passionate about everything he puts his mind to.
Um, there was a post, and I'm not gonna read the post because it's one of the same of the many. But his reply to it though was hilarious to me. And he's like, guys, no need to argue when we have AI. And this man got an AI to then do the calculations and come to the conclusion. No, Player Unknown Battlegrounds PUBG does not have skill based damage in the sense that damage output is directly tied to a player's skill level or performance metrics. In PUBG, weapon damage is fixed and determined by the specific weapon used, the type of ammunition, the location of the, like, it goes on about all the details. It says each weapon has consistent base damage values. For example, a headshot with a Car 98 will deal the same damage whether it's fired by a beginner or a seasoned pro. Like, and it just which this is just AI. The AI rants on and everything. I thought that was hilarious. And Beer's always got like some of the best replies on
There's
Facebook, Twitter, and everything.
there's one thing that my buddy Lee Giorno says all the time, and he's full on convinced that some of these like I wouldn't say professional streamers, but like they're players that are just exceptional at this game.
Yeah.
Like exceptional. And he's convinced that they have like extra armor on them where they can take more damage than us. It's like it's so insane. For instance, I will say that one of them was in because this past week they did the new 1v1 matchmaking, the arcade
Which is
mode
a
or whatever.
pain, by the way. It's
Well,
don't even know
Nacho-
why they did that. But go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Nacho on Thursday hosted a bunch of them. He did a bunch, and one of the people that I won't say his name, but he was in there against Nacho,
Yeah.
and they did the first round was a Winchester match, and I saw Nacho hit him 5 times with a Winchester.
It's ridiculous, bro.
And he did not go down. And then he one shot hits Nacho dead. And I said to Lee, I'm like, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
You could just hear it in Lee's voice. Like, he goes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. He goes, Nacho's top tier of this game.
Yeah.
For console. He is one of the best. And to see him hit this guy for 5 shots with the Winnie, and he does not go down. And then of course, it's a running joke with Lee and I, but he goes, that's how I feel when I throw grenades and they land in the guy's pocket and they don't die. Because we're convinced that whenever Lee throws a grenade, it does a quarter of the damage.
Yeah. And now they've got where you could go prone and you could eliminate 60% of the grenade damage. It's crazy. I didn't realize if I tucked the nade underneath my body and went prone directly on top of it, my guts would be fine and take 60% less damage. But each their own, I guess. Yeah,
Captain America.
Just curl up in a ball on top of it. Hey, get away! I'll soak up the damage. Bro, I played 1v1 because we had challenge. You get keys and chests and a crate. I like doing the hunter's chests and stuff because that's really the only thing that gives you like free content. And I got the keys and I was going for the chest. I got to get like 5 more kills or whatever. Man, and it was like I'm using I got so fed up with the damage in that specific game mode of whatever they did with it. I don't know what they did. I guess I want to assume maybe they upped the damage numbers in order to make it last longer, not just as quick as it would on the actual normal mode. But I was rocking a P90 and lasering people full clip 50 reload, and have to half clip the next one just so I could kill somebody. And they were having to do the same thing to me. You could feel it. When you soaked a lot of damage. You're like the slow motions, like boom, 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 boom. Like you're just blood splattered and everything. And you're sitting there taking it. Like my head bouncing back and everything, and you're good. You're ready to.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, and you're licking. You're just all over those barrels, which is another odd implementation of TPP and 1v1s. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Whatever floats their boat over there, but
I love when I'm in a fight with someone and I shoot them enough times the way I stop shooting because I'm like, wait, you're not dead. Like I've hit you this many times and you're still standing.
yeah,
That's insane.
Jinky gets that a lot too. He uses a lot of 5.5 weapons, and he gets it quite often. I got to where I will not use the M4 anymore. I won't use the MK12 anymore. I rarely use, if I had a choice of a DMR and I was forced to use the mini, sure, I would use the mini.
So what's your ideal setup? Like what's
for me? My ideal setup, I love the QBZ. Love the QBZ. I know they added it to more maps, so the QBZ is been, if I see it, I got to pick it up. That is my AR, my of course Car 98. I did not know the M24 did less damage than the Car 98. Did not know that for the longest time, and then I had to get AG Maniac Mike to, he had mentioned it, and I was like, really? And he explained it to me.
Points difference.
Yeah, and that makes a difference because the TTK in the game right now, I feel like is not correct, is not right, because there's too many moments where you get someone on 1 HP, just 1 HP, and they're able to get away with their life. And yeah, it's one of those like, oh gosh darn, just 1 more HP would have had them, and it's just like, all right, and off to the next match. But at the same time, it's frustrating because you do it to 5 more dudes in the next couple matches that get away with 1 HP, and that's where I feel like they need to either just tweak +1 damage to like all the weapons or something. I don't know. But there's, again, we're talking about boosters involved, all this other stuff involved.
Just hit that right time.
Yeah, and cause it to get 1 HP. So it ends up being, because there's so many elements, which I do like. I like that there's plenty of tactical elements in it. But Car 98 and QBZ, if I had a choice of the 7s, I used to love the Ace, but for some reason, because the AK has not been touched in most updates, I just want to pick up the AK. And I know the barrel is supposed to be the best gun. I don't know why quotation. I mean, that is true. It is one of the best guns.
The meta that they've been pushing for years is the barrel is the king.
And I just cannot. The recoil makes me sick.
Yep.
Like it was because it's really weird to me. I'm used to the AK recoil by now. The Ace recoil is horizontal, so I'm used to it. I'm able to adjust that well with the angled grip and everything, but the barrel is just very, it's super weird.
The barrel feels rock solid, and then you go with the exact same stuff the next game and it's all over the place.
It's rock.
I don't know what it is, but it's just not consistent.
It's rock solid one game and just a little lamp on the next.
And the Ace, I mean, right now the Ace feels weak. I don't know what it is.
It really does.
But it doesn't feel like it hits the way it should. And I mean, that's my number 1 gun. If I go onto my PUBG weapons tiered list, it says I have the most time using the Ace out of all the guns.
Yeah.
And I'm like
Mine is too.
I don't know.
But from previous seasons because I've used it
Yeah.
so much. Scar, but the scar, because the scar is not on every map. So if there's a map that has a scar L, I immediately pick it up because they did the damage buff on it.
Once they did that buff, it was huge. Like that made that gun relevant.
God, and I was so happy too because this guy still got the day one skin on that thing. I still got the black and orange day one skin.
Like I don't know what it is, but lately I've been rocking the AUG, and it's just been such a solid AR for me.
It's a laser beam, man.
And it just, I mean, they're like it's gotten to the point where they're changing it every update. It's like, oh, we're adding more of this recoil, more camera shake. Basically, they're going to get it down to it's going to hold 2 bullets. But
I'm not against that. I'm not actually against that, but they have to be consistent. They have to do it where we know what we're going to expect. But they can't sit there and do it. Let's do it 2 or 3 weeks, stop for like a whole 5 months.
Yeah.
Do some random changes again, stop for another 6. That's very inconsistent updates with the weaponry, and that's what I'm not going to like about it.
They need to do a better job at collecting the data for these guns, and the usage that they're being presented.
Yeah.
Because it's just right now they're just literally shooting in the dark, like, oh, according to this week, the accuracy was high up, so let's add 5% more shake to the screen.
I don't even think they're looking at data, to be fair. I mean, think about it. Wacky made a whole website. Literally I know he's partnered, but literally one guy, I don't know if he had other guys, but I just know one dude made a website that calculates very deeply on the damage numbers. And loads of people are using it right now. They're using it quite a bit. It's very clean. I like the way it looks. It's very straightforward. It tells you the comparisons of the guns. The man put in so much work, and all crafting and old PUBG has to do? Look over. Just look over. Look at it. Just look at it, and you could see how everything compares up. And then just look at your feedback. What are people saying about these weapons? All they gotta do is look at that website and then see like something like an error, like be like, ooh, is that doing a little bit more damage than what we thought it would do? And then look to the other side and be like, all right, what are people saying about it? Are they confirming that it's doing a little bit more damage? To me, it should be that simple. You identify what could be an issue, and then you look over to see if the community is identifying the same issue, and then you fix the issue. But it's not just PUBG though. It's not just it's other game developers. I mean, Ubisoft is shutting down for all things. Ubisoft's been around for many years, and they're trying to get a desperate release of Assassin's Creed, and it's practically dead on arrival. It's they're really funny enough, they chose an era of the Japanese lore that catered to the one African American samurai, which actually was true, but there's so much to the Edo for the Edo era of samurai and ninja. Like, why are we catering to just this narrative? And we know why. And unfortunately, they're so far behind that when they started developing Assassin's Creed Shadows, it was during the previous administration, and during a lot of the hot takes, and it was getting to where we know those narratives where they're false they're trying to be pushed upon people.
Right.
And now that we're in 2025 now, and we're getting into more logical sense of things. They kind of miss the target. So now that they're missing the target, people aren't really biting the bait. And now they've changed their game to where you can have options to choose whether you could play as the assassin, was just like the Japanese woman or whatever, and the African American samurai. You could choose either or if you wanted, and which is kind of interesting because in Assassin's Creed, if you had, or any game for that matter, if you had multiple missions or things that related to other people, you either played as that person or you played as this person associated with that person. It's all part of the missions and stuff, but they're making it optional now, and they're trying to curve as best as they can to minimize the damage. But they're already lost a lot of money. They've shut down X Defiant. X Defiant was one of my games that I truly enjoyed. Kind of brought me back to old Black Ops 2 days. And so
I was always a Ghost Recon fan.
Yeah.
So when I was so hoping for a remaster or a re-release or something of like Ghost Recon 2 Summit Strike.
Bro, did you see? Yeah, because the first one.
I got my.
Oh yeah, that's
Ghost
pretty
Recon
cool.
tattoo.
Yeah.
I mean, I got that tattoo. It was the second tattoo I ever got, and it was just one of those things. Like, that game meant so much to me because I met so many good people through it. And when I worked for GameStop, Advanced Warfare 2 had just been released,
Mm-hmm.
and I met the lead developer of it. And I walked up to her and I said, I introduced myself, told her, I'm a store manager up here in New Hampshire. And she looked down and saw my Ghost Recon tattoo, and she's like, why'd you get that? And I explained it to her, and she goes, that means so much to me. She goes, can you write down your name, number, and we'll get some stuff out to you, for all this love, support. And it was like, by the time she got back there, her development team had got let go.
Oh wow.
So I was like, wow. Like I saw her post, I forget what it was on, but it was like she posted online, like, I'm no longer with the company, blah blah. I was like, wow. I'm like, it's like such a kick in the pants. Like, you're this excited and proud of this product that you put out.
It's too much excitement. They don't want that.
Boom. Boom, gone.
Did that lady just get excited about a game she worked really? How dare she? You know what, Bobby, pull up. Yeah, get the termination papers ready. Get free stuff. Oh, we got her now. Bobby.
But yeah, her whole team got wiped. And then, then what was the last one? Like, hit Wildlands? It was a whole different team.
Yeah, I couldn't stand Wild. The newer, all the old Ghost Recons to me were true Ghost Recons. Oh God, I love you're made me think back to the first Ghost Recon, man.
Well, when they introduced that gun, I think it was in Ghost Recon 2, where it had the camera on it, and you could put it out and it go around the corner. And you could shoot. I'm like, this is awesome.
And they don't even do that in modern day gaming. Oh, but like, do you remember when they did the cutscene in the Ghost Recon 1 and it said in the year 2025?
Yes.
And it was the Russians. I kind of want to go play that game now. I think I still have it on the PS2 thing or CD.
I'm gonna be buying an original Xbox soon, just so I can play Ghost Recon 2 again, so I can run through Pagoda and Quarry and all that. I think I played up to
I played the Advanced Warfighter. I played Rainbow Six, the first one, the Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six.
Yeah.
And that one I felt like was the last effort to be that single player or that tactic ability.
Yep.
And I don't even know if that's a word. I made it up in like the last episode.
I like it.
Tactic ability. um but after that one, it just felt like, yeah, like you said, you had Wildlands, you've had all these. It just those felt more like Far Cries,
Yeah.
like Far Cry games, and um,
It's kind
they
of the way I
have,
feel about like the Need for Speed series right now. Because I used to love
yeah,
the Need for
that's
Speed series. And look, just do what the people want. Remaster or remake Underground 1 and 2. Call it good.
please,
Stop doing this new crap.
because when they remastered Hot Pursuit 2, I got it instantly.
Mhm.
I think it was, yeah, I bought it instantly. It was a remaster. God, that brought back a lot of memories playing that game.
Yep.
Um, yeah, man.
Just give us Underground 1 and 2. That'd be good.
Do me a favor. You know Avowed that came out, right? It came out a couple days ago. Well, I would say about a week ago.
Maybe not.
It's by Obsidian. You know Obsidian that did Outer Worlds, Fallout New Vegas, and everything. Well, Fallout New Vegas was a hit. Everyone loved. That was when they were like, they were seeing all the amount of bugs that were happening with Bethesda, and they were part of Bethesda, and they made their own team, and they made Fallout New Vegas. Um, they did the Outer Worlds, which was good. It was okay. They're working on an Outer Worlds too, but they did a game called Avowed. It's a medieval, or it's I wouldn't say medieval. It's more like in the industrial, when people with muskets, but magic and swords and stuff like that. I was watching a video where it was compared to Oblivion. The first video was Oblivion, and then the second video I watched was compared to Skyrim. And I'm huge of Skyrim. I played Skyrim so much growing up. I introduced my nephew to Skyrim, and he thanked me just a couple days ago. He's like, "That is like one of the best games I've been playing as of late." I was like, "Well, I'm glad you like it because I grew up on that game." And physics, mechanics, and like just a lot, even the little things, you could do literally 90% more in a 14-year-old game than if you played Avowed. And it's a crazy, and it's not just for Avowed and the old game. It's kind of giving you a perspective of it kind of gets you out of that brain rot of modern gaming today, because to us we're like, well, at least it has this, or at least it has that. But then when you look back on games like Oblivion and Skyrim and those older games like that, you're like, bro, I forgot you could even do that. Like we've forgotten that a 14 to 16-year-old games are better in dynamics and physics than modern day
There's
gaming.
more functionality.
This is crazy. Yeah, it's insane that even that we've gone backwards instead of forwards.
That's kind of the way I felt about like the first Descendant. And like I played so much Destiny 1, Destiny 2.
Oh god,
And
yes.
then I was so excited to play the first Descendant. And yeah, it's fun. But there's an element missing out of that Destiny was so good at. When it comes to like the main hub where you're at. Like all these people, like, you know, you go this person for weapons, this person for armor,
Yeah, the tower.
the tower. Like there's it was so much easier to navigate. And then when you get the first Descendant, it's like this person will give you, you know, a little bit of armor here, but you really need to go see this person over here first. and then go to this person, but also go to this person. It's like there's too many steps.
Yeah. They want you to
Like,
traverse, but it's just too
yeah,
much. Um,
like and I'm just like, oh, if you want to level up, you gotta walk into this hand, and it'll touch you, and you'll explode, and you'll be up another level. It's like, okay,
yeah.
cool. Destiny, you go up a level, you just glow for a second. It's like, cool, you did it.
Yeah.
But
And then
yeah,
yeah, I mean it's not like, First Descent, I've never played it, and I didn't really care to play it because it was third person,
yeah,
third
that
person
was
shooter, and for an MMO
exactly.
type deal, I was just like, if I wanted to play this, I'll play Warframe. Um, but Ultimate
Well,
Bunny.
it's like the people the people that say,
The-
for PUBG, it should only be first person. That's never going to happen because PUBG makes so much money on all these weapon skins and character skins and these dances, and people want to see their purchase. The only way you
yeah,
can see it is if someone takes a screenshot from their perspective.
yeah,
And,
I still feel like FPP should. I think it should be remain the way it is. FPP should be an option still.
yeah.
Because I do like playing FPP. I play FPP solos all the time.
Ginger made us play it last night. It didn't
Yeah,
go well.
he's been loving it as of late too. Like he's really been getting into it. It's because, and he says it's because of he played Black Ops 6 and he got used to the first person. And
Yeah.
when he went back to PUBG, he's like, I gotta play like FPP for a little bit. And then now he's just like in love with FPP. I
Yeah, I
just
mean,
do.
I don't mind it. I can work with it. I can get around it. Just it's such a different. I feel like I'm like a foot back more when I'm going to loot. So like I'm going to go pick something up and I miss it. Like it feels like it takes me so much longer to get through that gap.
Do
But
you use Vicinity or like
yeah,
inventory?
yeah,
I use inventory a lot. Like I'll even come across a pile of stuff, and because back in the day, or a couple years back, PUBG had a problem with this angle, and sometimes they still do. This angle grip is underneath this backpack that you never saw,
I
and
do that all the
so
time. It's like I
so
pick something up. It's like oh wait, great.
where did
Where
that
did
come
this laser?
from? Where was
Why
that
is there
when
a
I
laser
needed it?
sight on my gun?
Where was that when I needed it? And it's like, I believe that the loot just spawns out of thin air when I get away from it, or from this house or something. No,
And
it's probably
then they
hidden
have that
somewhere.
feature where you can turn off, the helmet and whatnot. And I had that on for a while where, if I grabbed a helmet, it wouldn't change my character at all. And then it got to the point where I thought I had a helmet on. I really didn't. And then I get
That
one
was my
shot. I'm like,
issue too,
Where'd my helmet go? It's like, never grabbed it.
because the icon is like so tiny
Right at the bottom.
right at the
Just a little.
bottom left down there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had the same issue, so I had to put it back on. Uh, plus plus skins. I mean, if you're gonna have a skin for it, you might as well be showing it off.
Exactly.
Um, so like last episode, made the same statement. We could probably sit here and talk about PUBG. We did talk about some other games though. Um,
Hmm.
some classics. That was fun to talk about and kind of remember those. But we're gonna come from gaming a little bit and kind of get more into some real stuff, some IRL events. And what I mean by that is let's see, and pull it up here. All right, so we're kind of probably just gonna skim over this because I know you had mentioned that you didn't know too much about the things that are going on right now with Doge and Elon and Trump and everything. And Ginger said the same thing as well. Like he wasn't really watching too much news, and I get it because news today just brings a lot of negativity to the table. And
News is so depressing.
yeah. Hopefully that'll be fixed because a lot of stuff is being implemented that's going to force news outlets to stop being liars pretty much and start actually get back to doing actual journalism. So some of these you may have seen or heard about, but you said you didn't watch the news either, so I'm not 100% sure. But I will go over it. So, one topic, which was it's another one of those, it's so absurd, it blows your mind. Our Social Security. So my wife, she's on Social Security income, my dad's on disability, and they make not even, to be fair, not even enough to really live off of with today's, inflation. With today's cost of living, it is absurd that they're only getting this minimum, and just to put it into reference for anyone, for folks watching, if I work, her check goes down. So she cannot make the full amount if I have a job. But again, cost of living and everything forces me to have a job. Like we can't just not have the money to pay our bills and stuff. And we're not living that minimalistic. We're not living with our parents. We live in our own home. I'm proud to say it's paid off and we own it. I worked 10 long years for that, but still the inflation has kind of made up for that. And I still have to work a job, but I'm getting punished for working a job, and her check gets, it gets cut from her check. But either way, back to the numbers here. I want you to take a guess. What is the oldest human being on Earth? What do you think the oldest age is?
Right now?
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably say 110.
110?
107, 110, somewhere around there.
Okay. Maybe I should do current. Currently. Here we go. Okay, here we go. You said about 110?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Oh, you're good. You're close. 116. 116 is the oldest on Earth. Now, obviously, this is one individual. So let me do this. How many people are between the ages of 110 or 110 and 120 years old? Let's see. I couldn't finish this one. This is like back in 2015 though, but it was like, oh. Okay, so worldwide, between the ages of 110 and 120, this is actually kind of shocking to me a little bit, but this is worldwide, not national. This is a 2023, 570 which these are like people of certain cultures that
Yeah.
seem to have lived pretty long.
Mhm.
Worldwide, that's not a lot. That's very minuscule for worldwide humanity population. Now let's narrow that down. Let's see, in the United States. Seven. According to gerontology research group, there are currently 7 living Americans confirmed to be over the age of 110. All right. So the reason why I wanted to give a perspective is kind of context of what we're going to be talking, what I'm going to bring up here. And you may already know this, but for the viewers who may not know what I'm talking about, so Elon is literally just an auditor. He is going in with his Doge team, um, um, Department of Government Efficiency, and just looking at records. They're not altering anything. They're not going in and like trying to cancel. They don't have the power to cancel stuff. They all they do is report back to the White House of their findings, and then they take it. And then of course Trump takes it from there.
Mm-hmm.
These are the Social Security age ranges, and these are crazy, man. How many people do you think are getting SSI or disability at the what we mentioned, the 110 to 120 range? You want to take a guess?
How many people did you say? There's 7?
Seven.
7.
It was we said 7 was the reported research for 7 people in the United States. So between 110 and 120, do you want to take a guess of who in that is on SSI or disability? Which would be crazy that all 7 that any of the 7 wouldn't be because they're that old, but
I'd hope that they would all be.
obviously I'm projecting here that it's wrong. It's obviously wrong. But what is a number that you might want to toss out? Like what do you want to take a guess at it, take a crack at it?
I don't even know. That actually kind of scares me.
That's
even a question.
Okay, so all right, so go ahead.
I'd say 60% of them.
60%. So about
Not like
what, like
3 or 4.
3 or 4? Okay. Between the ages of 110 and 119, on Social Security income and disability in our country, in the United States, 3,627,007. Who in the hell, like,
So
obviously they're fake. Like these are fraudulent numbers. And this is what was found within the Social Security Administration. So now that we have a concept of how outrageous that number is, you think I just got started? Just wait. There's more.
I was gonna say, I think I saw a TikTok last night. I
Mm-hmm.
was getting ready for bed, and it was Trump, and he was talking about there was one person recorded on Social Security that was like 350 years old
Oh my.
or something like that. They found.
Yeah, 360 to 369. There is one person apparently. These folks are older than the United States, man.
In the country, yeah.
Than the country. He said at the same time that he was like, if I ever met this person, he would probably kiss the ground that they walk on if they lived for that long. But yeah, so the numbers are as follows. I'll start at like 70 to 79, which we know, folks like that. Oh, my dad would be between the 60 and 69 range. So 46 million for the 60 to 69, 70 to 79 is 33 million, 80 to 89 is 15 million, 90 to 99 is 6,054,000. 100 to 109 is 4.7 million. 110, 119, we mentioned it, 3.6 million. 120 to 129, 3.4 million. For God knows why, but it jumps up between 130 to 139 to a 3.9 million. And then it starts going back on lowering again on that trend. 140 to 149 at 3.5 mil, 150, 159 at 1.3 mil, 160, 169 at 121K, 170, 179 at 6K, 180, 189 at 695. Oh my God. 190 or 199 at 448, 200 to 209 at 879, 210 and 219 at 866, goes up again at 220 to 229 at 1,000. And then there's the 240 to 249 with the one person, and then the 300, 360, 369 with the one person.
Which is Count Dracula. Just
practically, I guess, Count Dracula. This is the state of our Social Security Association right now.
just no accountability, and definitely someone's missing the check mark of, oh, this person's deceased.
And it's so ridiculous that we're laughing. Like, I just laugh at this. It's so ridiculous, and but what meets that ridiculousness is the sadness too. Like, it's kind of like you're then slapped after you get a good chuckle and you laugh. You're slapped in the face with reality, and you're like, "This is actually a thing." This is
why I heard that they're talking about another set of stimulus checks.
Yeah.
Once they clear this all
Not
up.
because of this. Not
because of, okay.
Not because of this. Because of the feds, the federal. They're finding so many projects. They're saving trillions right now. So what their idea is to give $5,000 a piece to each tax-paying American citizen as a tax refund for the amount of absurdities. And okay, a lot of people would look at that and be like, and we've already seen it, that's going to set us back to inflation numbers again. Why are we doing this? I thought we were getting away from this. Yeah. They did the numbers. That $5,000 per person for tax-paying citizen is 20%. That's all the Americans. 20% of the actual dent that they're making and the amount of money they're saving right now. So they said the least we can do is give 20% back to the people so they could pay their personal debts themselves. Now, obviously, you got some that's probably gonna blow it off on stuff, but I would love to pay my debts off.
My credit card, I'd be
yeah. I got a credit card and I got a shed I got to pay off. So, and I got some other things I got to do. I got land to prepare. That money could go towards like some great stuff. It's not confirmed yet, though. I don't want to get nobody excited, but that is the discussion. Elon's trying to get Trump to send out checks. So,
Yeah.
um,
I knew I heard something about that, but
yeah. So,
no.
and see, so my thing with this is that we know where the money's going from all these deceased people. It's going right into the pockets of government officials, pretty much. But the it hits me because of my wife and my dad and everything. And these are people that, you know, the money they would save from cleaning this up to the people who actually are alive and deserve their fair cut. And I say deserve, but you know, to me, being on disability, you're disabled, you can't work, so you have to have at least, I'm not asking for thousands upon thousands of dollars, I'm saying at least enough money to live a daily life, because the whole point of disability is for those who just are disabled and just cannot work anymore. If you can't work, how are you going to feed your family? How are you going to feed yourself? How are you going to take care of yourself? That should be the amount should be well enough to be able to survive a daily living. It's definitely not that right now, and it's ridiculously low. So moving on to another little nitbit, you were so I was talking about some of the projects. Um, now these are, God, how big is that number? Let's see. That's the millions, so billions. Okay, so that this is in the billions. So this is updated data on DEI related contract cancellations with full detail. Now it doesn't go into detail on what what they were doing, but it goes into detail of the agency and the amount of money they saved. So let's see, Bureau of Land Management, one contract saved $169,000. All right, and then let's see, CFPB. Jesus Christ, two contracts and $19 million was saved. Department of Agriculture saved 110 was 11 contracts, saved $110 million. Department of Commerce, 6 contracts, 2 mil. Let's see, let's find a good one. Department of Health and Human Services, 15 contracts at 28 mil. I'm pretty sure the Department of Agriculture was like, energy stuff and save the planet type stuff, which I used to be kind of okay about that, but now that we've learned the narrative that it would take millions of years before we even came to that point, it's like, bruh, like they've over exaggerated that to such a degree now. Homeland Security, 7 contracts at 14 mil that they saved. What's a big one? Oh my God, this is a big one. Office of Personal Management. I don't even know what that is.
No, I was just trying to think to myself, like, okay.
Yeah, Office of Personal Management, 3 contracts. 494 million, so half a billion, or half a billion dollars. That's for just 3 contracts. What in the heck was in those contracts? Let's see. The FAA, 4 contracts, saved 45 million. Oh yeah, then of course the USAID, the one that they shut down in New York.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 228 million.
Yeah.
Social Security Administration, not very much really, 109,000, 109K. But yeah, those are the major
So they're
ones.
definitely trimming the fat.
Yeah. The fat trimmed. So, okay. So these are the DEI. This is talking about the departments that go along with the inclusive narrative. And we know it's just getting out of hand. And it's not as, we're kind of seeing the reality of the true narrative they're trying to push and the amount of money they're wasting. So what we've saved thus far is pretty much $1 billion ceiling value savings.
It's a
Yeah,
good
$1
start.
billion. So $1 billion we've saved thus far. And that's and what's sad, this is all taxpayer money. So your taxes, my taxes, all the taxes we pay, this is $1 billion worth of all of the Americans' taxes that has gone into DEI department or departments for each one of these associations. That's crazy to me, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes more sense now on why Elon wants to push to give people back their money. It's not going to be everything, of course, because a lot of us are like, shoot it to the deficit. Send those savings to the deficit and get
we
our
gotta pay
deficit
for
down.
some stuff here.
Yeah. So, but that's it. That was a real quick, like, kind of give people a perspective of what is happening a little bit right now. With the current association or administration. And what Elon's up to, the numbers that have been brought up. And you can go on Twitter and look up or search up and follow Doge. And they post updates of what they find all the time. It's 24/7. You know what's even crazier is that he has a team of only 100. It's a very small team, and they're finding all of this. It's insane.
Right.
So, um, I don't know. You have any more thoughts on that? Any more thoughts on that whole thing or situation?
Not really. Like I said, I don't pay too much attention to like news or anything like that. Um, I only get like little snippets here and there. Usually it's when I turn on my computer and I go online, like to go to like Twitch or Twitter,
Mm.
and it's like because it always opens up to Yahoo or Bing, depending on which computer I'm on, and I always get that little flash of like this right now, like the top stories.
Yeah.
But that's really all I ever see.
Yeah. I got you. And it's like I said, I totally understand because news today is currently just out to get you. They're out to kind of
I
just
think if anything, I
fearmonger.
just get more of the local stuff.
Yeah. And that's something I've got to. We had those commissioners meeting that I didn't even know about in my local area. Um, and it had to do with like splitting up land and all that kind of stuff. And people were furious. They were like 90% of the county was like, no, we don't want you telling us what we can and can't do with our land. Like it's our land. We bought it.
Yeah.
And you know, it
That's the kind of fight I'm having with my town right now with my house because my house was built in 1860,
yeah.
and under the town ordinance, it's considered a historic building. And I
Oh
want to
yeah.
add another room onto this house for my actual office, and they said I cannot because I'm changing the physical aesthetic of a historical building. I'm just like, well, that's annoying. because there's nothing historic about this building besides its age.
Besides his age, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, would they have a case on you if you even did it? It's your house.
If I did it anyway,
Yeah.
I that's what I tested out when I put a shed out because I added onto the shed, and then one day my Ring camera goes off and there's a guy out there measuring the shed,
Hmm. You know
and
how to fix
I
that problem,
I
don't you?
I politely asked him to leave. So
Yeah,
yeah,
we do the same thing, but
so they definitely do check on it, but I mean it's a kind of a small-ish town, so I mean they have nothing better to do.
I kind of love my dad when that happens, because when that happens, the shotgun comes out. Like there's just not even, he doesn't even go out and talk to him first. He knows he pretty much knows everybody in town. But if he sees certain individuals and they know who they work for and all that kind of, there was a guy trying to tell how he could run his business on his land because of you got to follow these, city rules. And we're not even in the city. We're in the suburbs. We're like off in a neighborhood, not even in the city. And he was trying to enforce city rules. And um, he's like, all right, so you know what? I'll be right back. Give me just a second. You hang tight. He's like, all right, okay, I'll be here. He comes back out with the shotgun. He's like, if I ever see your ass around here again, bro, it's Bama. Like we're in the woods over here, dude. You wouldn't even be found. Like this is crazy. On
The most recent one I had here was it was 8 o'clock at night. And I mean, I have signs in my driveway that say no trespassing, no
yeah,
soliciting, blah blah blah.
you got a lot of
And
land to cover. Like, is it a long
no,
driveway? And oh,
no,
okay.
not at all. Um, and my Ring camera goes off. I'm like my wife's not gonna be home for like another half hour. Why is someone here? So
Yeah.
I go out there and pitch black. I open up the door and there's this guy standing there. He's like, "Hey, how's it going? I want to talk to you about adding solar panels to your house." And I went, "No, I'm not interested." And he goes, "Oh, can I ask you why?" I'm like, "Well, I wouldn't have solar panels installed by someone who comes at night and obviously can't read. So no." And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's dark out. Surprise." And he's like, "What do you mean by read?" I'm like, "You walk past two signs that say no trespassing and no soliciting." He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Can I leave a pamphlet?" I'm like, "No. No, you could just leave.
It's just, yeah.
You can just leave." I'm like, "It's 8 o'clock at night, dude. Like,
People
what are you
try
doing?"
too hard.
Yeah.
Just,
So
um, yeah, man. I don't know. Like I feel like if it's yours, it's yours, and I
yeah.
get that they want there to be a historical value, and they may even try, but I don't see how would it even hold. How would it hold up in court when your name's on the deed? Like it's your house. It
Yeah, I
wouldn't.
don't
It
know.
wouldn't at all. So, um, you're gonna have people that will try to threaten. You'll have people that will try to act like they're being polite, but when or I hate watching stuff about HOA or the housing associate those neighborhoods. I don't think I would
Yeah,
ever live in a neighborhood like that.
never.
That is ridiculous for what they make their rules out
We
of.
we almost for our first house bought one,
Oh no.
and they had it so because I had my motorcycle then, and they said in order for me to actually use my motorcycle, I had to back it out, push it down the street out of the area, and then turn it on
Oh my
because of the
god.
noise. And then I was like, okay, I was like, whatever, it's downhill. And then I said, well, we got a grill, and they said no grilling, absolutely no grilling at all. I was like, I can't even have a grill outside on like my back deck, and they go, nope, not at all. No fire pits, no nothing. Like it was just like, Why do people want to live here?
I feel like people are under the misconception that it's safe. It's a
Yeah.
safe place to be. But to me, I feel like a lot of those people are just they're scared all the time. And it's just like, again, it's just the fear mongering of the media, the fear mongering of the news and all that stuff.
Yep.
Um well, man, we had a good long chat. It was we've been
Yeah,
at
yeah.
this for an hour 46 minutes. Better than 3 hours from the last episode. But it was also a one-on-one. We last episode we had Mike on as a guest, so we had 3 people. I think I enjoy keeping it to low numbers because we get more personal on like our likes, our tastes, our dislikes. It
Absolutely.
kind of goes by a little bit quicker, and we kind of get to the nitty gritty. So we're gonna end it off, folks, with a little game. The last time we did Smash or Pass for fast foods, we had loads of fun with that. Again, if you need a deal, AG Maniac Mike apparently has all the fast food deals. He knows like all the details on those. But this
Might
time,
be hitting him up then.
yeah. This time we're gonna be doing Smash or Pass, but it's gonna be band edition, like a music edition. So, and you listen to what's like your
Everything.
you listen to everything? Okay.
Everything.
I tried to put a
Like-
little bit, but I'm also it's hard to put a little bit of everything when me myself listen to more specific genres.
I mean, my playlist is so messed up right now. It'll go from Falling in Reverse to like Brooks and Dunn.
uh-huh.
It's like the next song. It's all over the place.
What's your favorite artist?
My favorite artist. I mean, the band that I always go back to and listen to is Nirvana. I think that's just the one I've always loved growing up with. And then like Sublime, and from there, I mean, it's weird because I feel like I kind of grew up in the wrong era. Like I should have been around with like the 70s and 80s, like old school Ozzy, Black Sabbath,
My wife tells me that a lot
Led
too.
Zeppelin. Like those all I just love.
All right. That kind of so that kind of answers a lot of these already. um the first one I obviously had to put down because it was iconic was Nirvana. Because I think everyone can say, even though they did a lot of the craziest he did a lot of drugs, but at the end of the day, Nirvana is just too iconic to leave out. So Nirvana,
That's a
Smash,
1,000% smash.
yep. Guns N' Roses, I Smash.
Yeah. I smash. Yeah.
I'm a huge Slash
I was gonna say
fan.
Slash is what saved it for me. Axel's just nuts.
Yeah,
Like
he is like
he almost makes it a pass just because of how nuts he is, but Slash kind of saves it.
And when I was growing up, I played music. I used to play gigs and stuff, and my the way that I dressed up because I enjoyed Slash. So I would try to do like the pocket watch chain and the top hat or some sort of hat like that. Yeah. I love Slash. I think Slash even to this day is one of the best guitarists. Eminem,
Smash.
Okay.
Yeah.
My Chemical Romance.
I have to say one thing about Eminem.
Yeah, go ahead.
His music in the Call of Duty trailers, man, every year I was like I have to pick up Call of Duty just because of this.
Yeah, it's Activision's great marketing.
Yep.
My Chemical Romance.
100% Smash.
You'll probably smash me and you. I feel like we got a lot of the same taste. I feel like you're gonna smash a lot of these, um, which makes it kind of. It does kind of make it difficult to make a smasher pass list because there's. I mean, music is. I don't know. A lot of these are such bangers. So many bangers, or you get the hit singles, or you get the full albums.
I did a Smasher Pass video on my YouTube for motorcycles. I think it's like 1970s motorcycles.
Yeah.
And I named off a bunch of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It didn't really catch on too well, so I never did an 80s or 90s version. There's a lot to edit.
Yeah, that's one of the issues I'm having is the amount of editing. That was a good thing about me being on YouTube because it just kind of goes up there without me having to deal with it. Snoop Dogg.
I'm gonna say pass.
Pass on the Snoop. I don't listen to his music, but it is very iconic. I will say I'll probably have to pass as well because to me, for me to say smash,
You have to
I
lump
would
him
have
in
to,
with Dr. Dre
yeah,
and like other artists in order for it to be that's
yeah,
at least for me.
and I would have to listen to his music commonly, like too. So,
Yep.
Cranberries.
I'm gonna say pass.
We'll say pass.
Yeah. They had a few good hits, but not ones that I can be like, yep, I need to hear it.
I'm gonna say smash. I like Cranberries. The I don't know, just something about her voice, like it's just different from most other woman singer voices.
Yeah.
And it's just like I like that. I like uniqueness of certain bands. Beastie Boys.
Well, Smash. It's one of the first albums I ever bought. Licensed to Ill. Oh, absolutely.
Beastie Boys is freaking awesome. Like I'll be in the
I wish I could
car.
have seen them live. I wish I
Yeah.
could have.
I'll be in the car, and even though I've got other songs that play and stuff, but when Beastie Boys comes on, dude, man, I gotta get like be moving. I gotta be singing some Brass Monkey or obviously we said Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy is my favorite. If Ozzy passed away, which he's got Parkinson's and he's getting older.
Yeah.
I think I would have to take a week off work.
Dude, he's such a nice person.
Yeah, I think I would have to take a whole week off of work to recover.
I actually got to shake his hand and say, hi to him and everything like that one day. It was just incredible.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was back when I worked for GameStop. They were doing a release for one of the Guitar Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
And since I was one of the first 50 people to arrive at the conference, I got a pass, like a ticket, and they said, you need to be at this address. And this was in Vegas. So like you have to be here at this time tonight. And it's you and these other 49 other people. I was like, okay.
Don't sound sketch at all, but yeah, I got you.
Dude, it was like Mark McGrath comes out from Sugar Ray.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, we're here celebrating the new Guitar Hero. And he goes, I need someone to. He had a guitar, and he goes, I need someone to back me up. Who's out here that can be on drums? Travis Barker comes out, and he's like, yeah, I'll hop on the drum set. I'm like, what is going on? And then Mark goes, I need a backup singer though, and freaking Ozzy comes out, and it was those three playing like a couple of songs for us. It was just like. I was like just expecting free drinks in a video, but nope, I'll take this.
Yeah. That was a private party
incredible.
just for you guys.
Yep.
Just for showing up early.
Yep.
That's crazy, dude. Um, growing up, I never really had the chance to go to like an actual uh regular concert. Weirdly enough, I've been to, and I say this, okay. So I grew up in a Christian home. My mom's Christian. My dad cusses like a sailor, but um, those were we went to a lot of the Christian events, and I enjoy those. Um, but at the same time, I would like to actually go to a actual concert like a Ozfest. I probably would enjoy Ozfest.
Yeah.
Um, there was another one that it was Skillet and Avenged Sevenfold. I have my opinions about Skillet. But they had went on a tour with Alice in Chains.
Hmm.
So things like that. I'd never really got a chance to do that yet. Probably need to plan something like that. We'll get it
Yeah,
figured out.
I had kind of a similar upbringing. I was raised Mennonite, which for people that might not know is basically Amish.
Okay, because I didn't know
Um,
what that
yeah,
was.
I grew up on a farm, very very limited like electronic stuff like that. But my first experience was going to see Dropkick Murphys on St. Patrick's Day weekend in Boston when I was in high school, and it was one of the most incredible experiences I've ever had in my life, and it completely changed how I felt about music and performances and stuff like that. And to this day, it's just like one of those shows that's just like nothing's gonna top that.
Did you have an idea about with that
Oh yeah,
culture and stuff, or were
yeah.
you like, were you
No,
like,
I wasn't. I
oh,
wasn't
what
like.
is it?
I wasn't very sheltered or anything like that. But like just growing up on a farm, I was just like one of those things where
I was just
I was so
imagining.
expected to do the chores and like bring the cows in, all that. But like, I mean, just like I've never had that kind of experience. I think it was like my first time ever in Boston.
Yeah.
So it's just like I was like deer in the headlights, like this is crazy. And then somehow I managed to walk upstairs, and I'm sitting there like I found a couch to sit on. I'm just sitting there, and like this guy sits next to me, just looks at me, and goes, "How'd you get up here?" And I'm like, I walked up the stairs." And then all of a sudden, Ken Casey from Dropkick Murphys is going, "I want to thank the Boston Bruins for being up here tonight." And he points up there. I'm literally sitting with the Boston Bruins. I'm like, I don't know how I got up here. And then, I don't know who the player was, but he's like, "Do you want a beer?" Here I am, 13, 14 years old. I'm like, "No, no, I'm good." He's like, "Get this guy a green beer." It's like, "No, I'm good. I'm gonna go downstairs and find my friends."
You seem like the type of person that you like walk into these like it's just like you just kind of like walk into these situations quite often.
Yeah,
um
I still to this day don't know how I was able to get up those stairs, like to sit down with them. Like I'm just sitting there on the
I
couch,
was
like
just
no
sitting.
one's really up there. They had their own private bar, and I
Oh,
was just like,
just chill up here.
yeah, I'm just gonna. This is a couch. I'm not gonna sit down in the mosh pit. No, I'm gonna sit up here, comfy.
Oh yeah. Um 3 Days Grace.
I used to listen to them a lot, so I'm gonna say Smash.
Yeah, I think they were kind of like when people in teenagers, it's like their anthem in a way. Three
Yeah.
Days Grace. So, Johnny Cash.
Oh, Smash.
Yeah, even when he was old, he when he did Hurt and some
Yeah.
bangers. Even when he got older, he had bangers.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
I already know what my wife's gonna say, but I had to throw this in there. Elvis Presley.
I'm gonna say pass, but I honestly I respect what he did for rock and roll music and what he presented and changed the whole culture of it. But for me, I don't listen to him.
She's gonna say Smash. She loves Elvis.
I think she did. I
yeah,
think there's an exclamation point at the end of it.
yeah, she loves Elvis.
Sorry.
Yeah, I see that. The
Sorry.
smash, smash,
Sorry.
smash. The thing I like Elvis because I grew up in an old backwoods, like very conservative, Christian based home. And not all of Elvis's stuff was Christian based, but we listened to a lot of older music, and he was brought up in a country type style too.
Yeah.
So I would have to say Smash because if he's one of those, along with like Dolly Parton, um, I would say George Strait, but even older than George Strait, like some of the older stuff, it kind of brings you back, kind of,
Like Point Black
nostalgia and
them.
yeah, it brings you back to like, man, and you kind of calm down and chill out, and you're like, you just think to yourself, man, these are some good times, and yeah, it kind of pulls you back down a little bit. All right, well, those are games, Smash or Pass. We had some fun, learned a little bit about some music taste there. Learned that, see, things that we never knew. I didn't know you had the same taste in music as I did. Which that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Other things like I didn't know if you had. I didn't know you had kids. I knew you. I think it was only mentioned once ever before that I've heard of, and then that was it. But I didn't even know you had kids. Um all these crazy encounters you've had. You seem to have eventful way to just walk into these things. Yeah. A little too convenient, if you ask me. No. But
one I almost had that I would have literally been through the moon was I for my work I traveled to Hong Kong,
yeah.
and there's this picturesque place. It's right on the river. Basically, you get to stand there, and I've never felt so small in my life compared to these skyscrapers that are just across the river. You can actually look it up online if you type in like Hong Kong or sorry, Shanghai. It's Shanghai. Um, basically skyscrapers next to the river. Um, so we went there, we took a couple photos, stuff like that, and I was just like blown away. Like I was just like, this is incredible. And my father-in-law goes, okay, we need to get back on the bus. We need to get going back to the factory. I was like, okay. And I'm not kidding you. 10 minutes after I got on the bus, I saw on Instagram that The Rock went live and he was standing right where I was. I was like, no. So I could have met The Rock, but
Curse you, Dad.
that close. But
oh, that's crazy. Are you and actually now that you brought that up, just one last question. Because I know this is what I do know. You like WWE. I like WWE. My name is DX of all things. Like I love best tag team, D Generation X. I loved the way that they did that team. Favorite WWE wrestler of all time. The bet who is your favorite of all time?
Stone Cold.
Oh my god.
Stone Cold is just
if you keep up,
pinnacle.
I'm gonna have to tell my wife that there's somebody else I'm seeing or something, like, because
But when you said the tag team, I thought you were gonna ask me who my favorite tag team was of all time, and the answer would have shocked you.
Who's your favorite tag team?
The Headbangers, Mosh and Thrasher.
That's not bad. I like Mosh and Thrasher.
They were short-lived on WWE, but man, they're still out there wrestling today, and they're still awesome.
Mm-hmm. did. And I know Paul Levesque and everything. Like he's obviously leading now. He's doing his, but
Yep.
bro, if you just think about it, Degeneration X won. In the deepest level possible. Sean got NXT in the upcoming and then Paul Levesque
Road Dogg is now the co-creative writer for SmackDown.
And then
Billy Gunn's over on AEW still wrestling.
Yeah, I don't. He's the oddball.
He's nuts.
But man, it's crazy. And then when they did the bit with the Authority, I thought that was like, but this is Degeneration X that we're talking about. Like, it was just like really nice phase, and it's all the way back in the 90s to this day. And I think that they had a awesome run. And I just loved the way I know it sounds weird, but I like the degeneracy because it just felt like I'm big about like, you know what? That's not right. I'm going against that. You know, I'm going to stand up for what I believe in. And then they really projected a lot of that. I mean, most of theirs was tomfoolery, you know. Stone Cold, I will say my favorite wrestler, the single favorite wrestler, it's got to be Stone. It's got to be Stone Cold because he literally personified.
What an impact, man.
He literally personified whipping your ass.
Yep.
Like
when his music hit, that crash, that crowd reaction every single time of him coming out and just, you know, whatever was going on, you know, just incredible.
Yeah. And I kind of wished in a way, because the recent stuff with him, it was pretty much just he just shows up, does his thing, and he leaves, you know. But I wish
a banger of a match with Kevin Owens.
Oh yeah,
at WrestleMania. That was just, and they finally released the backstage reactions to that match. And there's one point where Kevin picks him up, flips him up over, and he lands on the concrete floor. And mind you, I mean, Stone Cold's at this point, he wasn't in the best shape.
Yeah.
And he took that bump. And you see, I think it was Paul and Stephanie were sitting there looking at the Mar, and he and Paul went, oh no. Like, but I mean, the guy loves the business, and he knows his limits.
But you know what makes me ill though, man, is now that Vince is out, I just want to hear Stone Cold, Stone Cold, Stone Cold, like one more time. Like I want to hear it one more time. And it's just JR was he will, for in my mind, I know a lot of people give credit to Michael Cole. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. Michael Cole is great for his current time. You know, for as old as he is now, but he is great for his current time. Larry the King Lawler, Jerry the King Lawler. Well, I said Larry. Jerry the King Lawler. Larry. Jerry the King Lawler. He's great too. You know, he's iconic. But JR, man, he will forever be the best commentator.
Absolutely.
And he is a commentator. He'll yell in the mic. He will actually give some effort into the commentation. He don't care if he's biased. And it's kind of one of those things where it's kind of like we like it. Us as a crowd enjoy it because we know that's his favorite guy. And we all smile at that. Now it's like, we're not supposed to be biased. We're not, you know, and they do the acting parts, you know, and then you get,
yeah, they're finally giving the
Pat McAfee, you know, he's like, I don't care. I like, you know, so it's, you know, and that's okay sometimes, but I feel like JR just went hard in the paint with it. Like he was definitely iconic.
whenever like Pat has definitely put a new life into the Cole commentary, especially Michael Cole. Like they do so well together. But I love when like Braun Strowman comes out and you just hear Pat go, "That is one big son of a bitch." It's just like, I mean, he's 6'8", 400 pounds. Yeah, that's a big dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and that's another one is that they're pushing Braun to be the big guy. But it's difficult for someone like me who you knew the Big Show, you knew the Undertaker, you knew Kane.
Yeah.
They're heavily lacking in big talent stars, like the bigger guys.
Yeah.
And I thought I was gonna fall out of love with it for a little while because sometimes storylines get kind of dull.
Yeah.
But to me, I loved watching David versus Goliath matches. I loved watching big dude versus
Rey
big
Mysterio
dude.
versus Batista.
Yeah,
back in the day.
I loved watching like the great Khali. I loved watching like these bigger dude or people trying to topple the bigger guy. And they were great for heels too if they wanted to be heels. So and I think Bray Wyatt was supposed to have been the predecessor, but with his sudden death, it kind of really throwed a wrench in those gears for a while.
Yeah.
I know they tried pushing Bo Dallas again with Uncle Howdy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's going too well because I've not seen him
He's
at
actually
all.
hurt right now.
Oh, already?
He's actually yeah, he got hurt doing a house show, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And I think that's some of the reasons why I don't think they let him, but the first time when they tried to get him on, they didn't really cater to him too much or have him on so much.
Too well.
Yeah. And it was for some of the, I think, same reasons.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a huge Dexter Lumis fan. Like he's like probably my favorite wrestler right now. And he's part of the Wyatt Six. And it's one of those things where I'm sitting there like, okay, when are they gonna come back? Like I'm like, you got 4 other people that rely on this one person to continue a story, and now they're just kind of sitting there in like a standby situation. So it's kind of hard because I would like to see them individually like break out and like, okay, we're gonna cause chaos here, there, everywhere, like how it should be, but they haven't done anything yet.
And
So
I
then with Alexa
noticed
now being back,
yeah.
yeah,
I noticed that they it's like they were doing a lot of the teasing, then they went into the promotionals, and then it's like their first, I think, how many matches they only did like 1 or 2 actual matches finally as the Uncle Howdy character and all with the other characters and stuff. But then like you just gone now. Waiting on the
2 or 3 with American Made. Then they had
which I think was a build up match.
two with Karrion Kross's crew there, and then Dexter had one with the Miz that got broken up. And that was the last time we saw him.
Yeah.
And then that was really about it so far. But now they're on SmackDown, so I don't know who they go after this time.
I like
Probably DIY.
yeah, probably. It's gonna be a tag team, probably kind of thing, probably. Yeah, we could keep talking about WWE and what we love about it most of the night, but all right. Well, we're about 15 minutes over, but it's all right. It's okay to be a little bit over. We have fun doing this.
Absolutely.
I hope you
Thank you for
guys.
having me on, man.
Oh, no problem. And I hope you guys in chat have gotten to know the KaptainGranite a little bit more. his likes, his dislikes, a little bit about him. I'm gonna read chat real quick. Let's see. Of course, most of it's the wife. A lot of people are on Twitch, so they don't. It's the integration and all that good
Yeah.
stuff. She says her favorite's the Undertaker. Um. Oh yeah. But I plan on I'm planning on doing these. I'm gonna keep doing them once a month. I do need to figure something out because I wanted to do them on YouTube or transfer over to YouTube, but I don't know. I feel like I'm having issues with that, being that I'm having to switch back and forth and do a lot of switching and stuff, and
Yeah.
it can cause problems like I had earlier with my settings and everything. And I don't want to lose settings because I'm gonna be honest, I set things up, I left them be, and now I'm worried that I kind of screwed everything up. So I'm gonna have to go back and figure out my Twitch settings, probably. So, but yeah. All right, guys. Uh, thank you so much, my dude. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
I appreciate you for coming on to the show. The Xplay Today reboot. It's an old show I've had for many, many years ago. Kind of put it on ice for a while, and I thought it would be a great time to bring it back. Where so much is going on, so much change is happening right now. So I appreciate you, brother, and go have fun with the kids, have fun with the wife. You know,
Will do.
do what
Dinner
you need to
time.
do. Dinner time, yeah. I gotta. I'm probably gonna give me a bite to eat and take a nap.
Sounds good.
All right, bud. I appreciate you.
Thank you
You
so
have a
much.
good one,
Thank you,
brother.
everyone.
All right. See you guys. See you, KaptainGranite. All right. All right, folks. We're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna wrap it up. The one thing that sucks about being on YouTube, you can't do raids. You can only just end the stream. So we're kind of left with just kind of doing our usual thing, killing it off. But I do plan on doing another podcast for next month. Next month is what is next month? See, January, February, March. It's March. We'll see. I appreciate you guys for watching the show, for supporting the show. I appreciate you guys for your views, your comments, your likes, and your subscriptions. And as always, hope you have a good night, good morning, wherever you are, and the best in gaming. Peace out.